Peace and Allah you Akbar. Welcome back to another episode of Jihad Lives Forever podcast, another installment. This is the place where the problem solvers become the teacher. We bring in sexy back to the everyday hardworking men and women who impact your life within close proximity, bringing value back to non-white people in the concept called America, rising above this madness called black culture. As always, man, I'm thankful for the support, man. For those who come to the show, man, I always ask that, if you get a chance to tell a problem solver to come on in. And, as always, if you don't mind, what I'm saying, always hit the like, share, subscribe button. The algorithm is growing because, like I said it a few episodes ago, people will go and type in the name. They used to have to type the whole name in, but now when it types it, it pulls up. And congratulations to me because I finally got a troll. On one of my episodes, man, somebody came on there and said that Christ and Christ only will live forever. But I don't really consider that a troll. It's just a person that they just convicted in their belief. But it lets me know that people are beginning to pay attention. I always want to produce good content, man. And I want to make an apology to those on the last episode that I dropped. That was it kind of got on a lot of people's skin. So I want to apologize if anybody felt offended or felt any type of way. I want to apologize. And just for the record, and this is only for people who have elite minds, I do not hate women. And I wish people would stop saying that because if you go check my catalog, I only have 2 episodes where it's directed towards women. Every other episode is pretty much dealing with men. And I know I go in on men hard. I find it funny how when I kind of talk about some things, and that episode wasn't really directed towards women. It was just about people, who claim they got a cutoff game. And I know I reference men and women, but I find it funny. But for years, people have been listening to hip hop and R&B, and in that music, women have always been called bitches, hoes, sluts. People have always talked about, the most ratchet things when it comes to women, and it's been celebrated. But the minute that somebody talks about it on a podcast, it's an issue. So I need y'all to understand, I don't hate women. I come from a black woman. I have black daughters. I have, black women who have been saviors in my life and have been truly beneficial and have had my back. So let's just stop saying that. And if you still believe the same thing, well, then I'm just not the messenger for you. Also, if you have any questions, if you want to reach out to me, if you want to book me for any speaking engagements, any appearances, any one-on-ones, please hit me up, man, jihadlivetv.net at gmail.com. If you have any ideas you want to see for the show. Tonight, speaking of show, tonight I have a great brother that I'm about to bring out named Goodson. And I met this brother, man, hooping. And as many of you all know, I stay in the gym hooping. I love to hoop. And, man, just playing against this brother, man, I just noticed something about him, man. His character was strong, just some, masculine energy, brother, a man's man type of man. Couldn't nobody get rebounds on him. He made good passes. He just knew the game of basketball. And we just kind of connected. And so I got to talking to him and come to find out he's a somebody with a great mind, somebody with great vision, and someone with great knowledge and wisdom. And from there on, man, we just developed a friendship. He came out to one of the practices when I was coaching at Shiloh GBL, came and spoke to my boys. He could have been doing anything, but he took time out of his day because, when it comes to people who are truly business people and entrepreneurs, they don't have a lot of time for marginal and small talk. So, man, before I bring that brother out, I always want to highlight a book, which I kind of went out of order, but I always highlight a book. And I want to highlight this book today with Dr. Liala Africa. And he speaks about melanin. A lot of people have always talked about melanin. A lot of people walking around with melanin written on their t-shirt, melanin popping. And if you was to go and ask them anything about melanin, they don't know anything about it. So understand who you are as a people, understand your original DNA, the beauty of your genetics, the reason why your eyes are brown, the reason why we season our food, the reason why our nose don't protrude. Understand these things, man. Melanin, I think is said by Dr. Phil Valentine, it's an intelligence. It's a neurological chemical intelligence that responds and is in tune with the universe. So this book right here, man, and brother Liala Africa has made his transition. Y'all go check that book out, man, and learn more. By reading this book, I've learned so much, and I got this book watching him on YouTube. But again, like I was talking about the brother Goodson I'm about to bring out, man, I'm excited about this episode. One of the things when I first met him, he presented to me was these cards, financial literacy cards. His business and his company is Righteous Grind Academy. And I found this to be very beneficial. And I used these things for my daughter, which at that time, when I first met the brother, my daughter was 2 years old. But, just to show you a few things about these cards, I'm holding them up to the camera. These will be the things that will be on these cards that you could teach your children, little things about financial literacy and some things that I even had to learn myself. Little did I know, I always thought I thought I knew what a FICO score was. Come to find out that I didn't. So I just wanted to show you know what these cards are all about. It's just not no gimmick. It's not a scheme. This brother's very serious about what he's doing. So listen, I've talked enough, man. I'm ready to bring this brother on, man. And listen, if you have a pen and pad, I suggest that you get it right now because this brother is about to give you some game about financial literacy, moving forward to the future, what everything we need to do culturally and as a people. Brother Cho, come on in.
How
How
you
you
doing? How
doing,
you
brother?
doing? I appreciate that. I'm doing real well. I appreciate that intro, man. I love it. I appreciate that.
Man, I'm still learning, man. How you been, man?
I've been well, man. Managing a large family as I do, no government assistance, and I've been trying to lead the way in our community as far as forefront thinking financially, economically, that can unify us, something that can bring us together.
Yeah, man. I was telling the people, man, I met you hooping, man. You been balling lately, man, since the last time.
I haven't actually been balling. I've been working out like crazy. So I did a
Okay.
little video a couple of days ago. I was taking some shots at family members that was making little references that saying that when I take pictures and stuff, I'll be holding my breath in. So I had to do a video to prove that I was breathing pretty fine when my stomach was creased up. So you
No
know what I
gut
mean.
gang, brother.
No
No
good
gut
game,
gang.
40 and up. You know what I mean. But yeah, I've been working out because my son, my oldest boy, he play ball. He in high
Mhm.
school, so he a sophomore. He play ball, and so I make sure I stay in shape so I can be able to shoot around with him and work out with him. When I get a chance to. But yeah, I'm a ball player, so I'm always stay in shape. I could be 60, man. I'm gonna stay ripped up if possible.
I know that's
Um,
right. But I remember talking to you. I want you to get into a little bit of your sports history. You from Florida, correct?
Yeah, I was born actually in Atlanta. I was
Oh,
born in
really?
Georgia. Yeah, I'm born in Georgia. I'm in Georgia, but I was raised in Florida. So
Okay, gotcha.
my father's from Atlanta, and his family is from Georgia area. So I was born in Georgia, but I was raised in Florida. So I was raised in between Miami and Orlando.
Okay,
So both of them, both major cities. But Miami more faster than Orlando. But yeah, I was raised between both. I went to high school, middle school in Orlando.
okay.
Uh,
But you played a little ball coming up through school as well, didn't you?
yeah. I played ball in high school. My high school was Jones High School. It's the number one. It's the oldest black high school in the state of Florida. It's a long tradition. We got basketball sports is basically our thing. We got a full football team now. We got nationally ranked, nationally noticed football team now. So we for a black school, we're pretty much big in the county in the state of Florida. My school, Jones High School Tigers, basically.
Okay.
We was number six. We was number sixth in the state when I was a senior in high school. So
Yeah.
we was on big. We started six, and then we got all the way up to number three in the state. We went to finals, and
Okay.
we lost in finals by 1 point. We lost the game championship game by 1 point.
Well, that's a heartbreaker. You know, I
Yeah,
want to. That's a school. A brother named Fred Hubbard. Me and our boys went to Grayson High School together. He's from Florida, and I believe he's an old basketball legend out of Florida. I wonder if that's the
okay.
same high school. His name is Fred Hubbard. He has a son named Ellis Hubbard, who committed to Colorado State. I believe he might have entered the draft, but his name was Fred Hubbard. I don't know if that ring a bell with you.
That name sounds pretty familiar. I can't confirm if he's an alum or not, but we got Wesley Snipes graduated from Jones High School.
Okay.
Wesley Snipes is a Jones High alum, and many people don't know that he's from Orlando. But
Okay.
yeah, but yeah, we're is we have our school is big at the high school is big at producing politicians and people that's high ranking in the community and different things of
Hmm.
that nature. They produce. We have the most political figures in the county in our county in Orlando. So basically,
Okay.
we produce very high. Between FAMU, Bethune Cookman, and all the other colleges, basically around the area in Florida. We basically produce South Florida and all that. We
Okay.
produce high regard when it comes to black excellence. They really do push that in the city, I must say.
I mean, well, you a product of the school, man, with what you doing too, man. So, hey, you a living example. So you got to give yourself props in that line of order too, as well, don't you think?
Yeah, we definitely grew up in a definitely a rich community effort and giving back to the community and things of that nature. That I think that was instrumental to my upbringing in high school and different things of that nature. I had a choice to go to any high school I wanted to in the county. Coming out of middle school, I averaged 30 points a game coming out of middle school. So I had every high school in the county on my trail coming to my game saying, "Hey, you come here, come there, come there." And I chose Jones basically over all the schools just to play with my partners who I grew up with. I grew up playing with them all since we was little boys. So,
Mm,
we joined forces and we played against the likes of AAU. We played AAU together. We played against the likes of Jermaine O'Neal, Penny Hart, Tracy McGrady. We played Vince Carter. We played against some of the top players in the nation coming out of high school. We played AAU together coming up, so we was we knew each other. Game. We played against some of the best players in the country coming up in my time. So we balling was everything for us. So in Orlando, everybody comes to Orlando. Everybody know about Orlando as a basketball city. Everybody comes to Orlando for basketball because everybody comes to Wild World Sports for AAU.
all
So
right.
so basically we didn't have to go anywhere to have competition. Orlando has always been competitive. Amar Stoudemire come out of Orlando
Yeah.
when he transferred from up north and he came down for a couple years and went to the league, whatever the case may be. So he's a little after me, but we come from Chucky Atkins. We come from Orlando come from producing basketball NBA players. They come from
Yes.
NBA talent, like what I'm saying, type play. So we don't come from no. Oh yeah, we got good players now. We bring them boys go to the league. Them boys
Yeah.
get there. You know what
Florida,
I'm saying?
Florida got talent, man.
And they go overseas too. So if they ain't in the league right away, they overseas or whatever the case may be. They playing at a high level professionally. So we come from that environment that and it's a team sport. So I was telling my wife, most athletes I know are entrepreneurs. Most people
Hmm.
that's most athletes because we've been trained and conditioned to grind and go get it and be self-sufficient and go answer to ourselves and be the ones that hold ourselves down and make sure that we good because ain't nobody else got our back when we out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As far as that. And then if you playing in the team environment, it just allows you to understand that you don't have to do everything by yourself to win.
Right.
You don't have to do everything by yourself. You can you can trust your other teammates to deliver, especially if you don't win in the trenches with them. You in the weight room with them. You on the grind. You on the practice court. You know what they're capable of doing. You done seen them when they fall down. You done seen them when when they ankle hurt. You done seen how they respond to pain and pressure. So you know what they're like. So it's going in the battle. You just understand how teamwork you can unify. You can win a championship if you put the team together. So it's all about unity when you talk about power.
Right.
Power is not an individual thing. It's a unified thing. So when you talk, you can't knock nobody out with your finger unless you
Right.
Bruce Lee. You know what I'm saying? But if you strike that blow, you know what I'm saying, you can clean somebody's clock with with that blow. So power is not in the individual, it's in the unity. So we have to
Right.
understand that. And I think our education system that we've been taught, and even in the public school system, has failed us when it comes to financial literacy and our ability to be able to make the right decisions and understand what to do when we get money and how to actually maneuver so we don't work as hard and let our money start working harder for us so that
Right.
we have an easier transition into deciding how long we want to work and you know what I'm saying or what we want to allow to accept because our money we have been trained to know what our money does for us instead of
Right.
understanding that we have to show up for the money. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, that's the biggest part. That's the reason why I created financial literacy cards. I homeschool my children. My children are homeschool. I have 7 children. Me and my wife have 6 together. We basically home water birth. Majority of our children at
Mm.
home.
Mm.
I've circumcised my sons myself with my bare hands. Um,
Wow. It's
uh,
amazing.
so I'm not a guy that's just talking from standpoint, my wife had home water births, and she didn't take no medicine, no meds, no pain pills, no nothing from the doctors or anything, no assistance from anything. I think a couple of times we had midwives, but sometimes we did it alone. And then she even had one child by herself.
Wow.
Basically, nobody helped, nobody there. She just, you know what I'm saying, by herself at home, whatever the case may be. So
And I
we've
know them
seen,
babies pretty elite because I did with Peaches, my youngest daughter. That was the one child that had her mama had absolutely no needles hit her body, no needles hit our baby's body. Now the lady tried to put one in my daughter before we left the hospital when I went to the restroom behind my back, but because me and my daughter's mother was on code, she didn't allow it to happen. So I'm pretty sure your babies are pretty elite. I met a couple of them that night you came to practice.
yeah. So I'm on them very heavy. I'm very stern on them. I don't take no bones about it because I expect excellence from them. I expect them to be
Yeah.
smarter than the rest. So we talk about everything under the sun. We leave nothing to the chance because they're gonna be adults longer than they're gonna be children.
That's
So
right.
I believe in educating them and telling them and having these conversations now. So they ask these hard questions now. So when life comes at them, they already know what to do. They already know how to respond to
Yeah.
these issues because they've already been trained since birth. You know what I'm saying, to alleviate the distractions and navigate towards what's going to be a solution towards any issue that they have. And basically, in our economy, it's basically financial. Anything that we're talking about an issue for us, for the most part, can be solved by a financial, you know what I'm saying, a financial situation being uplifted.
Okay.
Other than that, health wise, that's just, us not understanding, our dietary laws, our dietary
Mm.
structure that the divine has given us already. He's given us a specific code to how the creators created everything. So he knows exactly what works for us and what doesn't. He's given us a code to live by. And if we violate that code, we're going to die sooner than we're supposed to. And we're going to die unhealthy. We're going to die
Let's
in,
get into that. Let's get
yeah,
into
yeah,
that because I know when I first met you, we talked about that, and you of the Hebrew culture,
yep.
and you're one of the ones who are originally raised in it, which makes me look at you, which make my ears are open to you as opposed to those that we
A
talked about this
YouTuber,
who violate, yeah,
a
YouTuber and all the
YouTuber.
ones violating the culture. So man, speak on that and give people clear clarity of the practice, the spiritual laws of what you was talking about of the divinity.
So a lot of people confuse the word Hebrew, which is really is misstated. It's not actually Hebrew. The word it's actually Hebrew.
Hebrew. Thank you for that correction.
But in English it's pronounced, they'll pronounce it Hebrew.
Okay.
So we go with the term as far as understanding. Like a lot of Hebrews don't even know that part. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm.
the ancient term, because we come from and our text teaches us that we originate from Eber. You know what I'm saying? So we are Ibri people. It's pronounced Ibri. So we
Hebrew.
are, yeah, it's more African. You can tell more cultural to the continent. Ibri people, and
Hebrew.
the Ibri people are what is now noted as the Hebrew Israelite, the
Okay.
descendants of the Hebrew Israelite people. So, our culture. I was raised and born into the culture, so I'm not somebody that learned from somebody. It was in my household. It was practice in my lifestyle. So I seen it firsthand of the discipline of it, and I see the safe codes that the Most High has given us to
Mm.
allow us to safety away from the dangers and the distractions that the negative energy has placed to see if we are walking righteous or not, or we're walking straight path, or we're walking in light or not. And how he determines if we walking in light. All he do is ask us a question, and once we answer, our answer will identify if it's light or darkness by their standard of code that they set for us.
Mm.
So our standard of code has to be opposite of that which is opposing to us. If you're walking straight in an angle, so whatever opposes to us, and if we come from the light, if we're opposed to the divine laws, then we are anti of the creation that created us to give us safety on this earth. And this experience is based on our ability to identify the truth, the facts, the definitions, and the discipline of that which keeps us alive the longest.
Mm.
That's basically it. Whatever you do in between that measure, between building wealth or whatever if you get acres of land and have sheep and cattle and goat and lamb and different things of that nature and cows and whatever the case may be, that's real wealth. When you're talking about longevity, that's real wealth, because you have food for not just for yourself, but you can feed a community, you can feed a nation, with that type of structure, growing plants from the ground. So, they say money don't grow on trees. Well, it does if you own land and you're a farmer.
Mm.
It does grow on trees.
That makes sense.
So they teach us paradigms that lock us in a state of conditioning and stagnation. When they say what you don't know won't hurt you, that's a lie. What you don't know will kill you. If you don't know to do something at a certain time or a certain way, and you don't react to something, you're gonna you possibly hurt yourself very bad, or you can kill yourself. And if you don't know that your body is not supposed to eat a certain food, or your body is not supposed to intake a certain medicine or a certain drug, and you are putting that in your body, constantly breaking your body down, and you don't know that your body was never created to absorb this. That's like putting a foreign object into your body. What happens when you put something foreign in water? It rejects it. Your body is made of 70% water, as they say in anatomy. You know what I'm saying? Basically, so your body is mostly fluid. So if your body is mostly fluid in this water, and you put anything inside of that is that's not of what's already in it, it's gonna fight against it. It's gonna have a battle. Somebody's gonna win. And if you keep shoving it in there, after a while, it's gonna break your body down, because it's foreign of your body. The Creator never created a drug to heal your body. There's no drug on the planet that can give you life or give you the healing. So, before we get into the financial literacy, we got to get the simplicity of the creation of what we're supposed to be doing here. The focus on, we're supposed to be building the kingdom of heaven right here on earth, the physical kingdom for us to enjoy, right? Our children to enjoy right here on earth. We don't wait till we die to go to somewhere in the sky to live out a heavenly dream when we have life here, because we are to show that we are one with the Creator right here on earth.
Come on,
right
brother.
Here on earth, not when you die, not after you leave, but right here on earth, we are supposed to be creating heaven on earth. How do you build the kingdom of heaven? It's a physical place. Kingdom of heaven is a physical place. There is no imagination kingdom. There is no illusion kingdom. A kingdom is a physical place.
Come on.
How do you build a kingdom of heaven without controlling your resources? Because nobody else is going to build your heaven for you. Nobody else is going to put your heaven on earth for you. You know what I'm saying? So anybody that believes in what is considered the New Testament Bible, and they believe in the New Testament Messiah or whatever the case may be, and they follow his teachings, when he prayed, he says, "Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven." Why did he say that? Why did he say that if the kingdom wasn't coming on earth as it is in heaven? Why would he make that blank statement if it wasn't true? If he didn't think it's true. So when you understand even what he was praying for, his prayer was that the kingdom of heaven is built on earth, so that the children of Israel, the children that he came to save, okay, he said he wasn't sent unto no one but the house of Israel. He said, "I am sent only to the house of Israel." So anybody that follows New Testament belief, whether you're a Christian or anything like that, his words itself tell you what he came to do and how he looked at heaven being on earth and being built. So that's a physical thing. Temples are physical things. When you worship in the temples. That's a physical thing. That's not mystical. That's not no magical. That's not Disneyland. That's not a mystical thing. That's not a fallacy. That's a physical thing. That's something that's going to actually happen, or that has happened, or you build kingdoms, and kingdoms has already been built and destroyed, throughout time. But the kingdom of heaven has never been established here on earth since the earth has been, in existence. So that's the goal is not to, the goal is not to act like we know what to do. The goal is to get it done. And if we truly walk in the spirit, if we're not trying to build the kingdom of heaven, you're not trying to build a place of peace for black people, for the true children, for the true descendants of the children of Israel, then you're anti of what the Most High even said that we're supposed to be doing together as a people. We're supposed to be building the kingdom of heaven. We're not supposed to be fighting with each other. We're not supposed to be murdering each other. We're not supposed to be whores in the street. We're not supposed to be pimps and players. We're not supposed to be drug dealers, hustlers, telling our community up. We're not supposed to be rapping about this bull BS on the music, degrading the women, tearing it down, making the culture, and I used to rap, so I know about that whole thing, but I never was into that whole, degrading the black woman, or, what I'm saying, like, oh, you this, you that, whatever the case may be, because that doesn't bring light to the people. That doesn't bring truth to the people, because that's not reality. Reality is.
I have a question for you. I have a question for you. It was something that just popped in my head because I don't want to forget about it.
No,
do you recall maybe about a week or so ago? Because you hit on something that kind of sparked this, and I want to make sure I get this. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago when Creflo Dollar came out and told the church that he was wrong about tithing?
Absolutely. My wife posted it. My wife posted up on her page, and her mother got kind of offended about it, or whatever the case may be. And was saying,
I want you to speak on that, man. I want you to speak on that from its truest context.
Oh man, facts, man. So Creflo is, somebody came at him hard, had to be, for him to change his whole gospel, his whole teachings, and say all the tapes, all the teachings that he had. The man said, all the teachings I've ever taught about tithing, throw them all away. Mm-hmm. Throw them all away, burn them up, tear them up, throw them all away. They are no good. There is no such thing. First of all, in Hebrew law, in the Torah, it does not at no point teach us to ever give your money in exchange for worship. Let me say that again. In the Torah, okay, that's where the laws of God come from. All right, it's not the laws of Moses. Moses didn't write them. Moses, he wasn't a writer. He was the receiver and the person that made sure that the laws were followed. He's not the writer. So religious people, Christians, Muslims, or whoever, they like to, nitpick around the fact that it's the laws of Moses. Moses, it's not the laws of Moses. I love my Christian brothers. I love my Muslim brothers. I have a lot of love for both, and I talk to both, a lot, whatever the case may be. But to be quite frank, me being born in the culture, we understand that, we never referred to the laws as the laws of Moses. You know what I'm saying? They are the laws of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And they are instructions that he says that we need to follow because we would live by them. He said if we follow these laws, then we would live by them. You know what I'm saying? If we didn't follow these laws, we would die by them. So the law of the tithing is simply the Levitical priesthood. Is 12 tribes of Israel, 12 sons. 12 tribes of Israel, 12 sons. And the Levitical priesthood was given the temple of the Creator, temple of the Most High. They tended to the temple. They taught, they studied Torah, and they made sure that the other 11 tribes were in accordance to Torah, that they wasn't breaking Torah, that they wasn't going outside of what Torah said that could be done, that everybody was loving their brother as they self. They was doing unto each other according to agriculture. We was an agricultural people. So the Israelites was an agricultural people. We farm. We had laws for farming. We have laws for farming and the homeless. That we have that when we farm, the homeless are allowed to come pick the corners of our edges, and we do not bother them. We let them eat freely and do not charge them nothing, because that is law. That is law. That's not something that's forbiddable. Saying, oh, no, you got to pay for that. No, the Torah specifically says that once you grow your food and you're a farmer, if the homeless, a man that has nothing, he has no money to buy your food, let him pick the corners of your vineyard and eat freely. That's a blessing. That's a blessing within the law. But the Christians say that the law is done away with. But the same law that's done with, the same law you're saying is done away with, is blessing the homeless. The same law you say is done away with says that you shall honor thy mother and father, so thy days shall be long upon the earth. So if the law is done away with, then that means that I should dishonor my mother and father, so my days are not long on the earth. All right. So if you saying that the good things that is permitted to us, that we know that is good and righteous, that we speak in our religious form, but yet ignorantly say out of your mouth that they are done away with, how do you say that without doing away with all that is good? You know what I'm saying? Just because you don't want to accept the truth of your living or the discipline of the lifestyle that the Most High is trying to put you in, so you can be set apart. The Most High told us that we must be set apart. So now you go into the. Let me answer your question about the tithe, because you got to go into the food to understand tithe. Because people think tithe is money. Tithe is not money. Tithe is food. So the Levitical priesthood was set to give the instructions of the Torah to the other 11 tribes. And they was to feed the 11 tribes the Torah, to show them and teach them the ways of the Most High. So they didn't work. They didn't have no work. Their job was the study Torah and tend to the temple. Make sure the temple was clean and make sure everything is good. So when we come to worship, everything is like the Most High wanted set. Everything is in order. So they didn't work. So they wasn't given any land. They wasn't getting any land, no agriculture. They didn't farm. They did nothing. So the Most High set it up where the other 11 tribes had to take a percentage of what they grow and give it to the Levitical priesthood. That is what is called the tithe, the grain offer, the grain offering. This is what the grain offering. You know what I'm saying? You have the grain offering, you have the meat offering, you have the oil offering, you have the offering of these things to put into the temple, into the storehouse where they stored the food, so the Levitical priesthood can eat. They didn't have to worry about food or working out in the vineyard and being agricultural. They had food because the law says that all 11 tribes had to pick a percentage of they had to take 10% of their yearly growth, that the food that grows every year, they have to take 10% each from each of the tribes and give to the Levitical priesthood, so they didn't have to worry about food. They had their food, and that was the tithe of the nation. The nation gave 10% of the food to the Levitical priesthood. That's all that was. It's food. That's all it is. It's food. It's nothing.
I've heard that.
It's nothing else but food. It has nothing to do with a financial transaction. Actually, the Most High says you take your money for yourself and you multiply that so you can take care of your family, basically. You do what you unto for your family so you can have your money for yourself, because the Creator don't need no money, especially nothing that cut from trees that he created. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So if anybody thinks under illusion that the Creator that created the trees, that you going back to sacrifice a colorful dollar with somebody that don't even look like your representation or his representation of what he created the original man from, the Nile River. And so if we ain't got that, you understanding, then you giving a sacrifice that ain't worthy to him. He don't accept anybody understand the Creator. He don't accept any kind of sacrifice. He done killed his own priesthood for doing wrong when it comes to sacrificing and doing accordingly. So at the end of the day, he don't accept any kind of worship. When you worship, he say in spirit and the truth, it's in everything you do. It's just not going in. It's not singing and dancing. Worship is what you eat. That's worship. How you eat, that's worship. If you eat a certain way, you worshiping your God. You know what I'm saying? If you don't eat a certain way, you worshiping your God. Well, whoever your God is, whatever your God told you to do, that's who you worship. So if your God say you can eat whatever you want to and blow up big as a house, then that's who you serving. That's your God. But if your God told you you need to eat a certain type of way to live long and be healthy and be set apart amongst everybody else that's doing the wrong way, you're gonna see that you're set apart. He said that I shall bring up a righteous nation that shall be set apart above all nations. Above all nations, there shall not be laws that's more righteous than that which I set forth this day.
Right.
The order of how we should live is already set. We just don't want to accept the fact. We don't want to be disciplined enough. Even in the Quran, it tells you in the book of Surah, I believe, it tells you that the children of Israel, the Hebrew Israelites is the children of Israel. They're the chosen people, even in the Quran. So when you ask when you ask, I've talked to my brothers for years. I was born into this, so I've been having debate. I'm 41, so I've been having debates all my life with every religious sector on the planet. I've studied every religious, every belief there is. There is no Mormons. I don't care what you say. You even atheists, whatever you say you study, whatever you believe, whether it's Scientology, I don't care what it is. I've studied and looked into your origin of how it was started, because everything has an origin. If you don't trace the origin,
you're freezing up.
Where
you're freezing up just a little bit.
Give understanding to the true identity of basically who we are, and then spread light on the fact that, man, listen, the whole church thing, whatever the case may be, when it comes to ties, is outdated.
You was freezing up just a little bit. You was freezing up just a little bit.
Okay, I don't know. I seen it moving or whatever the case may be. Let me know how it's
you
going.
Good?
But I'm good.
I can hear you, but you still a little kind of robotic with the movement. But I think you can. Okay, now we good. So with everything that's being said, man, when did you come into the moment of truth as far as what you knew you were supposed to have been doing, moving toward into financial literacy? What led you to that place? Most of the time in life, man, when it comes to something traumatic, or it comes to a moment or people have an epiphany, people kind of find themselves in a passion. This has obviously been a passion of yours.
Man, I'm a historian by nature. Obviously, is my favorite subject. So history always came natural to me, even in school. My history teacher was my basketball dad in school. So that's how good I was in history. I never needed to study for history. I never needed to write anything down. He said he's never had a student like me that can actually go in, debate history, never write anything down, and pass the test, have an A on every test, and have the highest score, and be telling people what not to do, and have debates with him. So history has always been my favorite subject, obviously, because I've been understanding about our history and who we are to identify the rest of the world and who they are. So I can, so I can fact check. So I'm big on that. I'm big on origin. But what got me was I was teaching at the time. I was teaching all over the world. I had an internet ministry. I had, I was teaching people that was all out the country, and we used to have on the Shabbat from Friday evening to Saturday evening, we used to have class, and I used to teach class, and we used to break down scripture and understanding about modern times and what we should be doing today to implement what scripture teaches us. And the Torah specifically says, even in our captivity. Now, this is specific. He's talking to a captive people at this point. And so he's not talking to a free people. So when he's being discreet and being descriptive of who he's talking about, he says, even in your captivity, you should build houses and grow food. This is what he said. This is law. This is Torah. He said, even when you go in captivity, you should build houses and grow food. This is what he says. So that's law. That's not a if, ands, or buts about it. That's not a if I decide to do it. Because if you don't decide to do that, you're going to be a slave to the system. Mm-hmm. If you go against that law, if you go against that code, the love of the Creator is not there for you, because he told you how to be self-sufficient. He's giving you self-sufficiency in that love, but you don't see it. You see it as, oh, that's just too much work. But then you go work yourself to death for 30, 40 years for somebody that ain't going to leave your family a legacy. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Once I got into teaching, and I felt like the teaching began to seem like it was like stagnant. It was like church. It was like having, we just talking, we having these debates, we breaking down different books, different ideologies, different ways of life. We're talking about all type of things, but we're not actually physically building anything or moving towards a specific goal in mind. I stopped teaching. I stopped teaching and said, I'm no longer dealing with a traditional church setting or a church environment where we come together and just nitpick and talk about the book, but we don't actually do anything within the book that's tangible to show that we are the people of the book. And we can't just run around here yelling and screaming and saying that, oh, we this people, and we have not established nothing that looks like a kingdom for ourselves. We have not established anything that looks like a community for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We just coming into the point where we get into entrepreneurship as a form of thinking that that's a form of freedom. But I'm here to tell you, even in entrepreneurship, you're still halfway there to freedom and not all the way there to freedom, because what they don't tell you is it's 3 teams out there. See, we was taught there was only 2 teams out there. We taught the consumer and the entrepreneur, but it's 3 teams out there. And what drew me is people not understanding the 3rd team, people not understanding nobody's talking about the 3rd team. And I did some research, and I thought about all the childhood times and the years, and I thought, say, people not serious about their financial future. They're not serious about their way of life or eating healthy or doing anything or living long. People want to die fast. They don't care about life. They want to be alcoholics. They want to be drunk. They want to run the drugs because they don't have a money solution that they can solve. So if I can't solve my money problems, then I'm just going to throw it all away. And that's just my life. That's just how it's going to go, because it's really about financials. If I can solve my financial problems, then I can probably help somebody else, because I'm not in a state of depression. I'm not doubting myself. I'm not thinking that I don't belong in this world, to belong in this earth, because somebody said I have to be financially able. So I said, let me step back and show true knowledge of using the Torah. And I'm going to show you how the Torah has been used to dominate the world. I'm going to prove to you that what we supposed to be walking in, what every religion has said is the number one source of where they get their belief from. The Christians, the Muslims, the Jews says that the Torah is the source of where they get their source of belief from. Each have all said it. It's been proven. And so since the Torah is that powerful to command the top 3 religion, so to speak, of the world and dominate in that ideal, how Torah has dominated the world, and nobody has really realized it until now, or until I reveal certain things or whatever the case may be. And somebody say, is Torah powerful? Why would we follow something? Is it proven to be dominant or powerful over every ideal or thought process or discipline that we have put forth? Well, let's look into it. So we got 3 teams on the planet economically. You're a consumer. You're somebody that uses a credit card. Hopefully you don't use a debit card. If you use a debit card, then you're probably going backwards, because you're using your own money. You're not getting no benefits. You're not getting no cash back. You're not getting no points or anything for you to be able to use so you can make money off for it, or you to be able to use to flip or do anything with, pay down your bill, whatever the case may be. So you got that consumer that works 9 to 5. They're dedicated to their job. They got a good job. They probably make 30, 40, 50, for themselves or whatever, whether they're single, married, 50, 70 to $70,000 a year. If you're a truck driver or something like that, you in the 6 figures or whatever the case may be on average. But if for the most part, if you don't work for yourself or whatever the case may be, you in the $40,000 to $70,000 range or whatever the case may be. They're the consumers. They don't want to own a business. They don't want to be entrepreneurs. They just comfortable with their life. They got their house. They're gonna pay down their house. They're gonna make sure their credit is good. They're not gonna mess up their credit for nothing too much. They're gonna stay within their lanes. They're gonna pay off their credit cards, and they're gonna be going through the motion. And then basically they're gonna die, and that's gonna be the end. They're gonna leave whatever they're gonna leave, whether they got life insurance or anything like that. They're gonna leave whatever assets they're gonna leave to their children. And then that's going to be the next story. And the children are going to take over whatever knowledge the parents left. The children are going to take that, and they're going to go about it that way, basically go like that. Now you got the entrepreneur who says, hey, I don't want to be a consumer. I can't never think about me wanting to go work for nobody or going to go report to no job. I need to work for myself. I need to get this money, and I need to hustle. I need to grind. I need to be up 24 hours a day, whatever the case may be. And I need to get this money. And so that's the entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an investor. That's me. Yeah, I'm into that space. So I got to grind. I got to go get it. My brand is called Righteous Grind. So to let you know, we've been programmed to grind and hustle. We've been programmed to go get the money. We've been programmed to go get it fast and get it fast. But we have not been programmed of what to do when we get it. We have not been programmed to do, once you get the money, even if you got it illegal, I'm just being honest, because that's what they do.
Yeah.
Politicians and stuff like that, they do it, but you just have to know what to do. Even if you got it illegal, you still have a time frame before anybody is coming to get you, do anything to you. So your time frame and the time in which you do something is very critical. The wealthy understand this. The wealthy understand this very well. That's why they prep and are timely in their decisions. The Most High says that the wicked are crafty. They are crafty in counsel. They should make crafty counsel against you. These are not dumb people. These are not stupid people. They have craftily put themselves in position to rule over that which will submit to their information, their educational system, their way of politics, their way of doing a systematic structure. Because we have not identified with our own. We have not identified with our own laws that are already set for us, that tell us exactly what to do, how to treat our neighbor, how to treat our enemies, how to deal with foreigners, how to deal with invaders, how to deal with hostile environments, how to deal with the homeless, how to deal with the motherless and the fatherless. That's laws that tell us what to do, not just, oh, you do this if you want to, do this when you feel like it. There are laws particularly for that reason, so that the structure of the family is divine, in order that it does not crack because some outside foreign interference is trying to interfere with the divine force that tells us we can't be distracted. We got to build a kingdom. We can't be listening to you. We got to build a kingdom. We can't be focused on your drugs and your diseases. We got to build a kingdom. You can't plug us with that. Their education system couldn't help a dog. We can't do nothing with that. We can't plug that. So to understand the divine, you either gonna worship the creator, the divine, or you gonna worship the substitute. You're gonna either pledge allegiance to the divine, or you're gonna pledge allegiance to a substitute. You can't do both. So at the end of the day, the cause of our people so methodic in the whole church, they want to just talk about God, they want to talk about what God do, but they don't want to live the life. They rather read about it. Is the reason why I got into financial literacy. I created the financial literacy cards. I created Righteous Ground Academy. I started getting into banking. Now let me talk about the third. Now let me ask you this: out of all your years of going to school, have you ever heard somebody in career day, as a youth, from elementary school, middle school, high school, have you ever heard somebody say that they wanted to be a banker when they grow up?
Absolutely not. Never. Absolutely not.
Listen to me when I tell you. Listen to me when I tell you. It's a reason why. Because banking is probably the easiest business to get into, to be involved in, and we've been duped. We've been lied to. We've been deceived as a people of how to unify economically. Everybody talk about economic unity, but nobody has come with the steps. Nobody has come with the exact steps of how that is possible. The only way that is possible is that we become our own banking system. Let me say that again. You want revolution? It got to get funded. You want freedom? It has to be funded. The only freedom, let me say this, for nobody, I done heard all these talkers, I done heard all these so-called experts in religion and divine understanding and all this stuff like that. I've never heard nobody tell you straight up and come out and let you know that unless we control the fiat currency that we are enslaved to, we are enslaved to the fiat currency. We got to go to work every day for it. If we don't, something ain't gonna go right. So we enslaved to an illusion of money that's not even real money. Gold and silver is. So we are enslaved. We have become enslaved to an illusion of money for the purpose of our physical labor to get those who love us not wealthy and their children wealthy, and continue in this format because we have not been taught the simplicity of being unified in every aspect. We can't fake this. See, one thing about this life, you can't fake this. You either rocking or you rolling. You either rocking or you rolling. And I'm telling you now, you cannot fake this. The numbers, mathematics, Mathematics, you can't fake mathematics. Now everybody claim to have a hierarchy degree of masonry, have a hierarchy degree of masonry, mathematics, and all this stuff like that. But nobody is breaking down the mathematics of which we are enslaved to. The mathematics in which we are enslaved to is tied to our freedom of time. Our freedom of time is tied to this, because think about this. Now, let me show you. The Torah rules over the money, because the so-called Jewish people today, they follow the Torah. They run under the Torah. They run all the banking systems, the Rothschilds, the Chase banks, and all the highest power of banks. They follow Torah strictly. They use the Torah, divine laws and discipline in Torah to rule over everyone. Everyone. There is not a nation on the planet that can speak against the Jewish people and not have the defamation league on their necks. There's not a nation on the planet. That's not a newspaper. That's not a man that can speak out on publication about anything that has anything to do, any kind of site of truth or what they deem to be negative against their people, and the defamation league not be on you to make you totally withdraw anything that you even thought about saying about
That's
them.
an absolute fact. Can you break down the thing about you just said something about the time, the slave to the time, and the fiat currency. I need you to break that down, because that really got my attention.
Because the fiat currency is created by nothing. It was backed by gold in the 1930s. And
we talking about paper money, correct?
Paper money, fiat currency, yeah, paper money, just paper fiat currency. Because I'm breaking down the money system, because we have to control our money system in order to control our community. That's the key. Not start a business, not just start a business, but control the resources that is within the community. That's the only way we control the community. So the fiat currency is what we enslaved to, the dollar bill. The dollar bill is not powered or backed by anything since 1933. So since 1933, the government took all the gold and silver from the U.S. Citizens, made a mandate to take all the gold from the citizens. No citizen could have gold in 1933. Look that up. And basically since then, there has not been a staple backed by the dollar, and the dollar has been declining ever since, or whatever the case may be in value. But gold and silver is real money. So the reason why the dollar back then was accepted and acceptable as currency is because it was guaranteed by gold and silver. So since gold and silver was the staple that they guaranteed the value of this dollar, it made the dollar worth something and worth value. Well, since 1933, that has not been true. And so we have been living a lie ever since, because we have been working for something that's not even real money. If you want to be quite frank, it's not even real money. It's a promissory note. It's a promise to pay. It's a promise to pay. It's a promissory note. So basically, we are working for a promissory note, a piece of paper, and our timing of understanding basically what to do with the money. So, like I said, you never heard about a banker. The banker becoming a bank, or becoming your own personal bank first, and then creating an even larger banking community is the key to us freeing ourselves in any country or any place that we are bound out, because we are bound economically. We're not bound by chains. We're bound economically. It's a financial burden. It's a financial captivity, and not a captivity.
How could we create our own bank? What type of currency? And the reason why I ask that question is because a lot of times people always talk about the finances. Dr. Boyce Watkins, he drives it every day about financial literacy, financial banking. But why is it that nobody ever talked about creating their own currency?
So we can do that in multiple ways. See, we can create the currency in multiple ways. See, the thing is we have to get the community behind doing for self. And that means putting their money where their mouth is. So that's the reason why I started my fund, Plug Capital, is to raise capital within the community to invest in nothing but money businesses. So basically banking businesses, ATM machines. Many people don't know that ATM machines at minimum bring an annual return of 40%. upwards to 80% annual APR. Annual. We ain't the real estate itself can't compete with that. Real estate itself, and that's just exchanging money for money. This is not even talking about, because we got to understand interest. Now let me talk about interest. Interest is basically, we look at interest as something we have to pay, but a banker mind looks at interest as new money that just got created. So when say for instance, I loan you out $20,000 for a business loan or whatever the case may be, I loan you out that $20,000 and I charge you 12% interest on that $20,000. You go out as an entrepreneur, you need that money to fund your business and create that spread for your business. And to you working for yourself. To you, in your mind, you're working for yourself. You don't work for nobody. But in my mind, you work for me because you got to go pay me back my money. And if you don't go pay me back my money, I'm going to go take the assets that you put up for collateral. So now you, as in a position of entrepreneur, we've been trained that when we get an entrepreneur, that's the financial freedom. That's our life. That's how we build generational wealth. No, how you build generational wealth is you become your own banking system. They're not going to tell you that. They're not going to come out but how you become your own banking system is through your life insurance policy. See, they're not going to tell you that either. Huh? What? Somebody said something. See, they're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you that either. So what we have here now, when we identify the truth, this is why the truth is important. They say the truth should set you free. When you identify that fiat currency is fake, it's not real money, then you ask yourself, how can a righteous and divine people that say they serve God, how can they be enslaved to an illusion of fake currency? Would that be something likely that the creator of heaven and earth, would he sanction that his people will be duped by something that's not even real money and enslaved to work and think that they will have a responsibility to do that instead of being able to create for themselves and create within them? Because he said, I am with you always. I am within you. The Father is within you, not outside of you. So when you're saying that you serve the creator, then what is your movement saying that you're doing? How, if you're serving the creator, would he have you enslaved to something that's not actually real? So what happens is you go put your money into your insurance. Let's say you got $20,000, right? $40,000. Let's say you hit a lick or something happened, or you got in an accident, you got some money or whatever the case may be. Took some money from your 401k plan or whatever the case may be, and said, so you got this knowledge, and this knowledge told you, and they say, hey, if you put your money into your IUL, Index Universal Life Insurance Policy, your IUL, if you go get you an IUL,
wow,
Index Universal Life Insurance Policy, and you get a high cash value, low death benefit policy. Okay, you go get a high cash. What you say? Look at that face. Look at that face. You get a high cash value, low death benefit policy. When you go get a high cash value, low death benefit policy, you become your own banking system at that point. If you go get a high death penalty, meaning you get most of your money when you die, and you get a high death penalty and you get a low cash value, that means that you're not going to be able to enjoy the things that you grinding for. But if you get a high cash value, low death benefit, but that means you won't be able to write your own checks. Wow. You're going to be able to write your own checks, because what is going to happen is I'm sure you're familiar with the term compound interest.
Yeah, I've heard it before.
All right, so compound interest is described by Albert Einstein as the greatest mathematical equation known to man. He says basically compound interest is basically it's unfathomable of the power or the generating that it does in the time in the short time span that it multiplies. So compound interest is when your money is working and it multiplies without you having to physically do anything with it. It's just adding up on, adding up on, adding up on. So let's give an example of a typical IUL on how IUL is powerful to form your own personal bank for your family, and then get everybody individually to understand how to come together to form a united bank within our communities, that we can fund our own businesses. We can lend out the money from the policy. I'm gonna show you the structure. You said nobody's never opened up and talked about how step by step. Well, I'm going to do that on this show. Okay, I'm going to do that on this show even before I do it for my own sector and my own crowd. So I'm blessing the show today
Thank
with
you.
some golden information. Okay, so when you get your money, say you got 40,000, you put it in the policy. You know, whatever the case may be. It don't have to be that much, but I'm just giving the numbers. Just say, you know, whatever the case may be, you put your 40 bands in there, whatever the case may be. Now you got a high cash value, low death benefit, or whatever the case may be. Now you're able to operate as a bank. You're going to be getting anywhere from 6 to 10% interest compounding on that money. Okay, annually, APR. You're going to get it compounding on your money. So the more you put in there, the more your money gonna be making. The objective is for your money to be your slave and for you not to be a slave for the money. The objective is for your money to be a slave, the money to work for you. You put the money to work, and the money, you don't outwork the money. So you can't outwork the money in order for you to have a good life. Let me say that. You can't outwork the money in order for you to have a good life. So you have to put the money to work. You put it into your life insurance policy, the IUL, the permanent life insurance policy, and it gains interest. So if you're doing the numbers, if you're gaining 6 to 10% annual return on that money, it's gaining every year. You're gaining on that money every year. When it's keep going nonstop. When the market goes up, you get all those gains, up to sometimes even 15%, depending on how your policy goes up, how your policy is structured. You get all those gains. When the market goes up, it's booming. You get all of those gains. Boom. It goes up all the way to 12 to 15%. You can capture all those gains. If it stock market doing bad like it is now, and everybody panicking in the crypto space, and they panicking in the stock market, you ain't got no worries. You lose nothing. None of your money get lost. None of your money ain't going nowhere. You lose absolutely zero. Zilch.
Wow.
Not a dime, not a coin, you ain't worrying about the stock market. You ain't worrying about if it go good or not. Your money is safe. And guess what? The best thing about putting your money into your life insurance policy is that it's tax-free upon you taking it out. When you take out your money out your policy, it's tax-free. You don't owe the government anything. You know how every time you got to take out something, you got to take a fee out. It's this and that. You got an early age. You got to do all this. Your Roth IRA, you gotta be 59 and a half before you take out a Roth IRA.
I went through that with my 401k years ago. It was a steep penalty.
Yeah, and the 401k, many people don't tell you that at retirement, when you retire in your 401k, the government gonna take a third of your income.
Sure is.
They're gonna take a third of your income. So this is what I teach. I tell you that while you're operating, you're still moving around. You still out there looking like LeBron James out there. You know what I'm saying? Shove that money that you have into your 401k, shove it into your life insurance policy. It's the safest place you can ever put it. And now you're gonna be able to create your own banking system. So let me show you how you create your own banking system. All right, so you take your money, whatever the case may be. You got the 40,000 in there. You say, hey, somebody say, hey man, I need a loan, bro. I need $5,000 or whatever the case may be. You say, hey, if you know them or you don't know them, you got, how your credit, my credit good. I got etc. Whatever the case may be. I got a good job. I've been there 10 years, whatever case may be. I make this, that, and that. I just need to get this, whatever, for my business, or I need to get this, whatever the case may be. You can start lending your money out. You could take a loan against your policy, because once you listen, oh man, I'm finna blow your mind. Woo,
you already didn't blew it.
Once you get your insurance policy, once you get your IUL, right? You didn't know that you could take your insurance policy right to the bank and get a guaranteed loan. That's how valuable it is. It's just as valuable as buying real estate.
I never even heard of an IUL.
I trust me, I'm for the. I got you. Listen, so so you when you take your policy to the bank, a house and an insurance policy is the only two things that the bank will guarantee lend against. They guarantee your loan against those two things because those two are considered property. You're the property on the insurance policy. You're covered. You're the most valuable asset, period, on life, in your life, in anybody's life. You should have the top premium, best insurance on the planet. This is the way you guarantee generational wealth. You ain't even got to work as hard as you think you do if you understood where to put the money at, because the money supposed to be working hard for you. That's what they not going to tell you. You not supposed to be working that hard. The money supposed to be working hard. You supposed to just find a way to get the money so you can shove it into the place where you need to shove it to, because the secret is out. The hat is out the bag now. So all the secret of hustling and grinding, you ain't no hustler no more. You're a banker. You're not worrying about the hustle and grind. You're worrying about the safety of what you do with your money. Because now it's about making my money is my slave. So now when I know what to do with my money, I'm not commanding myself to slave myself to get it. I'm commanding the money to go in places where it's gonna bring me back a year, and I'm be like, oh, that was good. I had a good year. Oh, dang, oh Lord, have mercy, boy. I keep working like this. I mean, they keep working like this, and I'm gonna have all the free time I can never imagine. You know what I'm saying? Because now I don't got to pull up for it. You know, I don't got to do the things I do because now the secret is out the bag of where to put the money at and to create your own bank. All the banks, the top banks in the world use insurance, use permanent life insurance to park their money so they make money off of their money while they parking it before they loan it out. So let me show you how you lend. So you heard of a trust, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you get your insurance policy. And matter of fact, you don't just get insurance policy on you. You get insurance policy on every one of your family members, of your children, of your stock. So all your children or whatever the case may be, you get your policy on them, and you combine the policies, and then you put it in a trust. So let's just say you got $1 million. Just typically you're saying you just got $1 million on you, your daughters, and you, whatever the case may be. And you put that into a trust. Whatever you put into the trust of the insurance policy, that's how much value the trust has. So if you have $3 million worth of insurance, you got $3 million of excess capital that your trust can actually lend against. Let me say that again.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Let me say that again. If you understand how valuable this type of life insurance, they tell us to stay away from it. They teach us to get term life insurance. Term life insurance can never bring you generational wealth. The only way you can benefit from term life if you die early, and your beneficiary, and you're not going to benefit from it. The beneficiary going to benefit from it. But the only way you benefit from term life if you die early. They don't tell you that either. So they're not going to market to the negatives. I want to scare the shit out you. I want to scare the shit out you to the point that you figure that you can't even go to the normal life or the normal thought process or the normal thinking that you thought. Once you understand that you need to become a bank and nothing else makes sense, you got to start with being the bank first. If you want to be an entrepreneur because you got a vibe or you got an energy and you want to help people, you can fund your own operation with your own banking system, but you got to know how to set it up and how to prepare yourself to be that. I have an ebook I'm getting ready to drop that said that my ebook is talks about what to do before you start a business. Everybody's teaching to start a business. Everybody's teaching how to start a business. Everybody's saying LLC, go get the business credit, go open a bank account, get the EIN number, get this, get that, get that. Everybody's saying the same thing, but nobody's telling you what to do before you even start your business. I teach you to become your own banking system before you start your business. That way, you understand the money. You don't have to worry about getting a loan. You have become the loan yourself.
Freezing up again just a little bit.
In the instance that we have to understand that it's simpler than we think. The reason why nobody has ever said, I want to be a banker. You know, you ever heard that before is because it's the easiest business out there. And if they know that we understand this business, the game is over. Monopoly. Everybody play Monopoly, right?
Yeah. Hold on.
Everybody play Monopoly, right?
You freezing up 1 second. 1 second.
You there?
Hold on a second. Yeah, hold on. You freezing up. Freezing up.
Like it's slowing down.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me take it out. I'm gonna take us out. 1 second. Here we go. All right. Give me a second to get back in. Had a little bit of a technical difficulty. I told you again to have your pen and pad ready. That brother was going to be dropping a plethora of knowledge. My mind is blown. I've heard things that I've never heard spoken before. A UIL, life insurance. Man, this is one of the best episodes ever, bro. We should be good. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I got knocked off, whatever the case may be. But let me get back to
Let's get to it.
let me get back to it. Okay, so the IUL, the Index Universal Life Insurance Policy, is the most powerful vehicle for compounding interest known to man. Period. According, basically, it's nothing out there that's better. It has what is called living benefits that's attached to it. Living benefits
Right.
is something that if you have 8 of the top 10 diseases in the world, which most of our people suffer from: diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, AIDS. If you have any of those diseases, if you have this policy, you will have a 6-figure check written off. As long as the doctor signs off on it, you have a 6-figure check written off to give you any surgery in the top surgeons, the top anything, so that you live and not die. They will protect. Your policy protects you. You don't get that in term life insurance. You don't get that, and they don't teach you that this is even available. This is not a conversation that you have at the dinner table with mom and dad. Mom and dad gonna look at you like that don't exist. Nobody ever told me nothing about that. I ain't never gonna see. I ain't never seen nothing like that. I ain't heard nothing about no living benefits. What's living benefits? So in actuality, the policy is built in. The IUL has living benefits connected to it. It has a death benefit connected to it, and it has a cash value connected to it that has a savings account connected to the index that goes up with the stock market, and you lose zero if the stock market don't get nothing for a month. You ain't losing no money. So at the end of the day, it's the safest place, and it's also tax-free. It's also tax-free. So when you take a policy, say for instance, you loaning somebody some money, It's tax-free, so you pay yourself back. So instead of paying the banks back interest, remember, interest is new money created. Anytime you hit interest from now on, don't think about interest as if you got to pay interest like a credit card interest, different things of that nature. Think about interest in a banking sense, where you think about interest as somebody paying you interest. Somebody paying you the interest. A business is paying you that interest, because that means that that's new money that just got created. So if you creating new money by loaning your money out, the Torah teaches us that we shall be the head and not the tail.
Man.
We shall lend and not borrow. We shall lend and not borrow. This is law. This is law. You wonder why the Jewish people that follow the Torah rule the world currently today, the financial system, because they follow the Torah. You shall lend and not borrow. They will not borrow from nobody. They're not going to build up debt for nobody. They're going to give off all the debt and sign off on you to take all the responsibility, because they live by a certain code. We have to live by that code, and we have to abide by that code, or we're going to be economically incapable of taking care of ourselves sufficiently. And that's just something that the Most High has given us, a divine entity, to be able to take. That's why laws is for. Laws are given to a nation of people for order and a kingdom. Laws are given for a nation of people, a free people. A free people. That's why the Most High never gave the children of Israel the laws until they came out of Mizraim the first time. He never gave them laws when they were sitting in bondage for 403 years. He never gave them laws. He never said, hey, you do this, you do that. He waited until it was free and went into the wilderness for 40 years to give them the tablets, to give them the laws, so they can have the laws and the structure of how to run their own kingdom. When they go take over the new land, they have the laws of God of how to structure and run a kingdom. That's what the laws are for. The laws are for us to run our own kingdom. He tells you, bring heaven to earth. The Torah tells you what heaven is. It tells you what heaven looks like for his people. We should be trying to bring that to earth as fast as possible. We should be trying to bring the Spirit of God to earth so we can rule over our enemies and show that we are not suffice to their financial system, because we have divine wisdom. The Most High, he says the wisdom of this world is foolishness to him. He said the wisdom of this world. So when you thinking you fooling him, he laughing like, oh, this is what you're going to put my people on slavery? Watch how I turn this around. Watch how I show them that all they have to do is love their brother as themselves. Once I showed them that they got to trust each other and love their brother as themselves, and then love me. And if they love me, they're going to love to do my will. If they love to do my will, they're going to crush their enemies.
That's real.
They're going to crush their enemy. If they love to do my will, they're going to crush their enemy, because I'm going to put them up high above their enemy. He said, I will put you above all nations, every nation. If you would just serve me, I'll put you over every nation. I will destroy every nation that come upon you. I will destroy them and send them running back. They come with swords, I will send them running back. But we have to take on that spirit, that lion of truth. No religion, no belief in no Catholicism, or no belief in nothing that was created by Constantine, or anything that was created in the
Man said Constantine.
Anything that's into the mysticism of how they mysticize the New Testament and make it magic kingdom, and make you totally get out of the objection of what the message was about. It wasn't about complacency. It was about us getting the job done and creating a heaven for ourselves here on earth, so we can prove that we are the children of God. We have to prove that we are the children. You can't just run around saying you're the children of God and right. God on your corner, and you worship God and Creator, and He haven't established the divine wisdom for you and your people to reign over your enemies that try to seek to destroy you. You know what I'm saying? This is evident of our spiritual problems. If we saying we are humble before the Creator, and you trying to tell me your Creator is the one Creator, the all power, the all great, the almighty, and He hasn't given you divine wisdom to conquer your enemies, and you walking righteous, I don't believe that. I don't believe that that's possible for us to even conceive that that's a reality. So in that sense, as we look at all the lies and deceptions, when we say, hey, I never heard nobody ever say I want to be a banker. I never heard nobody say I want to own my own bank and control the money, because he who controls the money controls the people. He who controls the money controls the community. He who controls the money controls the businesses. Businesses need funding. Businesses need funding. You can't operate a business without money. I don't care how rich you are. The rich don't use their own money. They use financing, and they make a spread, and they create a spread, and they pay that money back. They make money off of other people's money. They park their money into insurance. Get credit cards, take loans out on other people's money, the bank's money, and then what they do is they make money off of that money and park that money back into their insurance, but paying themselves back the interest. They don't pay the money back to the banks. That's why the Jewish people don't send that. You ever seen a Jewish person go to public school?
I don't recall. So no.
Because they ain't talking about money, and they ain't talking about money in public school.
Right. I've never seen that. Man, you. First of all, man, I'm so glad you hit me up about coming on this show. I always knew you was heavy with it, brother, but tonight you've really literally altered a lot of my thinking. You really blow my mind. And I said before you came on, man, that people need to have a pen and a pad. I need to have you, if you don't mind, I would like to have you come on for another episode. Because we're going a little bit over an hour, but
anytime.
I got to have you back on, man. And
man, we could do we
got to talk. We got to talk off air.
Yeah, absolutely. I got more to share on your show for your viewers. I'm doing this because I love our people.
We're gonna have, but this one next time we're going live.
Oh, we're
going live this time. One thing that
question for your viewers and everything like that, that'll be dope, man.
Once they see this show, the house will be packed. But I always told you one thing I always admired about you, because we talked about basketball coaching and you building the school, the institution, and now I'm starting to see your clear vision. The last thing I want you to speak on before we get out of here, man, the critical culture of teaching our children financial literacy. What would you tell people who's watching this show? What would you tell them that they really need to work on as far as teaching their children about financial literacy?
We got to be serious about doing what we say and saying what we're gonna be doing, and making sure that's our yes is a yes and our no's is no's. You got to educate ourselves about credit. We got to educate ourselves about our credit profile, how important the credit profile is more important than the credit number. And the profile, building the profile, when you build a profile up stronger, understanding what is required, what they're looking for, that's what's going to get you the capital to be able to get funded. Many people don't understand once you fix your credit, your credit can be fixed 1,000 times. You can mess it up 1,000 times. You can fix it up 1,001 times. Credit is always fixable because the system is rigged. So the system is flawed because the system, they try to manipulate with laws. So you got to learn credit. Learning credit is the key to building wealth. When you understand the credit system and you understand how interest works, and you look at your credit card statement and you see how much interest you're paying, just imagine yourself, now that you heard me say that you must become your own bank. And this is for everybody. This is not just for no individual. You say, oh, I can't start a business. You can become your own bank. Everybody can. If you don't love your family enough, you can become your own bank. And that's the proof. But you have to learn about credit, because credit, the financial system that they place, we have to learn our enemies. And our enemies have placed financial hardships and stumbling blocks in front of us that we are not educated about. So we have to be educated about the systems and the traps that they have set for us to not be able to operate in them, not only operate in them, crush them, and show that we have exceeded their expectations about knowledge. Just like they didn't want us to read, we have to show that same intensity about learning about financial literacy. We have to be intentional about learning credit first. Then you learn credit. Then you're gonna learn banking. When you learn banking, you're gonna understand why credit cards is you spend 34.5% interest, everybody, annual, basically. 34.5% you spend on just interest alone annually. Just interest alone. That's over a third of your income. That's over a third of your income that goes to new money. That's not even going to nothing that's solid. It's going to new money creation. So a third of your income is already gone off of interest alone. So if we understand interest, we understand what it does to us, and we understand inflation. We have to understand inflation and how, man, listen, you actually, they will actually pay you. It's getting a loan right now is actually like getting paid to borrow money. Let me show you a quick example. Inflation is raised all the way to 9.1%. I know we got to go, but
no. Take your time. This your show.
Interest rate has went all the way to 9.1%. Even if you took a loan and you had to pay 6 or 7%, they just paid you 2% to borrow that money. You just got paid 2% because the interest is 9. I mean, the interest is 7 or 6. They could pay you 2 or 3%, and the inflation is 9%. So if inflation is 9, it's 9% up and high, and you borrow money at 6%, you just got paid 3% to borrow money. But we don't look at numbers like that from a dynamic of understanding the difference between interest, inflation, and then how we borrow, and then how we can make money off of that. So you can pay 3% to borrow the money, and then you probably gonna make another 10 to 12% off of the money lending it out. You know, whatever the case may be. If you got your money in ATM machines, you're gonna make about 40 to 80% annual APR on your money. So teaching how to discipline yourself with credit, because credit, all consumers use credit. So that's the first foundation of financial literacy, and wealth building is acknowledging your credit flaws and what you don't know about credit. Get you a mentor, get you somebody that care about you, that's going to educate you on credit, not just fix your credit, not just do it for you, educate you on how you not only just get a credit, how to maximize it and leverage. And we have to understand how to teach our children leverage, how to get something basically of value, leverage that to get more assets, because the assets is going to pay for the liabilities. The assets is what's going to give you the freedom of time, because the most valuable thing in life is time to do whatever you want to do. The only thing holding us back is our ability to pay for that time. Our ability to pay for that time and have that time free where we're not worried about it is our ability to understand the financial system that enslaves us. Without us being educated about the financial system, you have to see. That's why I created the financial literacy cards. I did a reverse engineering. What I did was I created financial literacy cards so that the youth will start learning these credit, financial, FICO score, interest rate, APR, business loans. They can learn all these words, and then they say, "Mama, what's your credit score, Mama? What's your FICO score?" That's the reason why we don't got no house. That's why we in this apartment, because your FICO score low. So the children start to learn, and they start to question the parents and start being enlightened about asking the parents what's going on with their financial situation. I've learned psychologically that nothing motivates a parent, an adult, more than a child. Nothing will motivate an adult more than a child. So if we reverse engineer and start teaching the youth, it will start putting pressure that adults can't put on adults. See, I can go to another adult and say, "Man, you need to get your shit together. Man, you need to get your credit score together. You need to be buying land. You need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. You need to get some gold. You need to get some silver." I could be telling you this. I could be telling you need to be having a diverse portfolio. Go get life insurance. Go get this type of life insurance. I can tell you all that, and you're going to be looking at me like, "Man, I ain't worrying about you, man. I do my own thing. I know what to do with my money. I make my money. I do what I want to do." That, that's an adult in a person. They, you know what I'm saying? That's how they respond. But if your child come to you and say, "Daddy, your credit score must be terrible," you know what I'm saying? Because we live in the hood. You know what I'm saying? You're like, you ain't got good enough credit for us to get a better place or something like that, man. They shooting over here, all that stuff like that. What's up, man? You don't care about your credit? You trying to get a shot up over here? What's up, Daddy? So if your children start talking to you like that and be like, "Hey, man, what's up with your credit? Why you ain't get to?" That's gonna make you gonna respond to that. You're gonna respond to your child saying, "Hey, what's up? You need to get your finances together." Hey, you like, "Oh, I need to get my finances together." So the reverse engineering in that is, if we teach the children, that's why they're so important. They're gonna influence the parents. If we teach the children and we show that we love the children and we love the babies, the parents gonna come and support. The parents gonna be there to say, "Hey, they changed my household because they taught my child some stuff I didn't even know. And then now they got me with good credit. Now I know what home ownership is." They teach you, go get a home, go get a single family home. You should never buy a single family home when you first buy your home. You should always buy a multi-family home when you first buy your home. Hometown first buyers should always buy multi-family homes and never buy a single family home, because a home is an investment. It's not just a living space alone. It's an investment. It's the largest investment you will ever make. If you understand money, you'll understand that I would rather go buy a single family home, a duplex or a quadplex, really buy a quadplex, live in the quadplex for a year, get an FHA loan at 3.5%, get a quadplex, rent the other 3 out. You can Airbnb it or rent it out, and they're gonna pay for your mortgage, and you're gonna make profit on your first rental, and you can move out and go get you a house the next year that you want, and now you got a full property with 4 people, with 4 tenants in there paying for your lifestyle. Now they're paying for the new house that you just bought, but you don't even know how to do that. You can do that in 2 years. But they don't teach you that. They don't teach you the method because they have not taught us how to understand money. Once you understand that fiat currency is not real and you get to the root of what money is, what taxes is, what inflation is, and stop being afraid of the IRS, stop being aggressive at how we approach money in business, when we understand how to be a banker and not just a person that goes out and hustle and go grind, now we know where to put the money. Now we know where to stick the money. And now we know how to make the money become our slaves and employees instead of us being the employees to the corporations. We now got money that's our employees now. And now as we change the game now, our whole life has changed now because we look at money different. We look at everything different. Let me make money off of my money. Literally, you don't have to create a product. You don't have to go create a business, a brand. You don't have to put no logo together. You don't have to do none of all that other stuff. Just get some legal documents, get with the right team, and you can put yourself in a position where you can become your own bank. You can lend out your money and whatever and make good money off of your money, and your money start working for you, and you never have to work as hard as you thought you had to for basically for that simple formula.
Man, I'm speechless. And brother, I really want to thank you because the knowledge that you gave us is priceless. That's something people pay top dollar for. And I'm thankful that you came on this platform and you grace people. If you don't mind, man, if you're available Thursday, I think we need to go back live again Thursday.
Man, listen. I believe in what you got going on. I believe in you. We had to talk. We talked about family. You told me about your daughters and your experience and different things of that nature. And, I believe in energy, and I believe your energy is sincere. I believe what you're doing is sincere. And regardless of people don't like what you're saying, people don't like what I say. You know what I'm saying? As a leader, sometimes it be like that. You're never going to get everybody liking what you're saying. But what I always tell people, I say, just tell me when I'm lying. Tell me when I'm not telling the truth. You might not like what I'm saying, but just show me where the lie is. And then I would say, hey, I might have over exaggerated that or put that, whatever the case may be. I took that out of context. But I rarely find people that ever come to me and say that was a lie right there, because I'm built on facts. I'm built on truth. You're not gonna come at me and say what I'm doing. I'm a historian first, but I'm a financial literacy guy forced to, because I see the plight of our people, and because we need to understand. Once we understand our relationship with money, the ball game is over, and it's easier than we think. We don't have to have a degree for it, nothing like that. Like, we just have to learn and have a mentor. I could be that mentor for a lot, but I'm revolutionary in the sense I look at Dr. Boyce Barkins and what he do and things of that nature, but my methods are not conventional, especially to our community. They're unorthodox, but they are so simple, and they're in plain sight, right in our face. And if we just look at them and see, and we look at percentages and see, wealth is built by percentages. So wealth is built by percentages, not the dollar amount. If you're making upwards to 40%, 80%, sometimes even 400% APR on your money, percentages, how would you be poor? If your business is money, how would you not have money? If your business is money, how do you not have money? When all you have to do is, I can give you a loan for $5,000. That's a promissory note. You're going to promise to pay. I send that to the feds. The feds going to give me 10 times that amount. I give you a loan for $5,000. The feds going to give me $50,000 to loan out to some more people at low interest. You're going to be swimming in money. So we wonder, we just hustling backwards, and we doing it too hard because we've been taught by the bankers. We've been taught about how the bankers, how to work for them, because the bankers make the rules. They make the rules. So we've been taught by the bankers, the ones who've been plotting to be us, the ones who learned our knowledge. They've learned our divine wisdom and used it against us. They've learned our divine knowledge, used it against us, while we run around trying to identify with who we really are. They've used our divine wisdom against us to rule the world and conquer and create wars and all this famine and disease, when we can use the same system to rid the world of disease. Remember, heaven on earth is no diseases, nobody's dying, no sickness and things of that nature. That's a financial thing. That's somebody that has power. That's a kingdom that can come and strike power and stop all of those things from happening. And we are the nation that we are looking for. We are the only nation that we're looking for, and that's my message. Let's get Thursday, man, and let's do some numbers, man. Let's get some people, man, change some lives, man.
Hey man, listen. On that note, man, I don't have nothing else to say, but like I always tell y'all, man, each episode, each and every day, man, I value, I love you. Don't ever tell me what you know if you can't prove the reality. Tonight, brother Goodson, he just proved the reality. And we're gonna go back live Thursday, man. This is just very critical information. And I ain't just saying this because we live. I'm actually like everything right now has just been a game changer. I actually had no idea the brother was gonna come with this kind of information and knowledge. I knew he was heavy, but I wasn't expecting that. And I hope those who watch this podcast, this episode tomorrow, like I said, I hope you had your pen and pad out, which you can always go back and rewind. But just
All
tell a
right.
friend to tell a friend. We're going back live Thursday, and brother Cho Goodson, he's just going he gonna let it hang out. And we
I'm gonna
need to
see y'all some
appreciate
more,
people
man.
like him. We gotta appreciate and we gotta honor people like him who's willing to give us this type of information. Because honestly, I've heard financial literacy talk my whole life. I've heard it, and nothing ever convinced me or made me move until tonight,
Man, that's
brother.
amazing, man. I'm blessed to hear you say that because I know I revere you. I revere you and as a respected man in the community, and I respect you dearly. I love you. I respect
Yes,
you dearly, and for you
love
to
you right
say
back,
that,
brother.
yeah, for you to say that, man, it means a lot. It means a lot to me, and I know that the information I have is game changing because I've been searching it for it all my life as well.
Yeah.
And when I seen it, I was like, oh, this is gonna change. This is gonna change my people's perspective of everything. You're not going to be upset about the things you can't change because now you have an identification with your with your position. Once you know your position, like I said in Monopoly, everybody thinks the person that wins the Monopoly game is the winner, but the actual winner of the Monopoly game is the banker
It's the
because
banker.
the banker takes everybody's property back. It takes all the money. It takes
uh,
everybody's stuff and going against one winner, but the banker takes everybody else's money and it's only one winner. So we want to be bankers in mindset and how we operate in discipline. Bankers have the safest position on the board. We want to have the safest position and we want to have the most profitable position. And it's just a no brainer. Once I educate on anything, any questions anybody got, please let me know. I'm willing to ask any questions. Trust. Nothing is built off of anything but trust. There is no loyalty without trust. So trust first before anything. And y'all got to trust me. Y'all got to get to know me, and I'm willing to do that. I'm not no fly by night guy. I've been doing this. My resume speaks for itself, and I appreciate Brother Jihad allowing me to come on this platform and share my
oh
wisdom
man.
and share my knowledge. And I got plenty more, and I'm willing to help anybody that wants to change their life
Wow.
and be the masters of their family and take hold of the generational wealth. I'm giving this knowledge away on his platform. For you don't have to pay a dime. Giving this information out. You get in touch with me, reach out to me, reach out to him. If you can't get in touch with me, he'll get in touch with me and we'll work together. I just want to create an environment, a community that we can love each other in real life and not just be talking in words, but we can show what love look like in the physical and not just some saying, oh, I love you. I'm gonna show you that I love you because I'm gonna give you the same divine information and sign knowledge that I have because it's love.
That's real, brother. And on that note, man, I appreciate you, man. As I always say, peace and Allah you Akbar.